NeNe and Cynthia's friendship is toxic, and that's on period. Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on. Real Housewives Atlanta season, I don't know, episode, I don't know either. Finally, we get a chance to see our good sis NeNe Leakes. She is back, honey. I don't know if she's better than ever, but she is back. And she's brought some friends with her. This episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta, she was alright. It was some stuff that I was just not necessarily interested in. And it was some stuff that I was interested in. So let's go ahead and get into it. So as y'all know, I'm going to be doing my Real Housewives reviews in the bedroom. Okay, bedroom Kenzie, bedroom kingeries. So I got my notes pulled up on my phone. Normally I don't do this, but I want to make sure that I'm talking about everything in this review that needs to be talked about, because it was a couple of things that I want to address. NeNe starts off talking about her relationship with Cynthia and how it's changed over the years and they're not as close, and NeNe seems to be kind of offended by Cynthia saying that their friendship was toxic. And I have to agree with Cynthia. I think their relationship is very toxic, and it's taking a toll on Cynthia. This is why Cynthia said in her thing that, you know, she's been good. Like she said while she was talking to NeNe, she said, I'm really happy right now. I'm really good. And that's important to say that when you are letting go of something like that. Like, hey, I had really a fun time with our relationship, but I've noticed since we're not like cool anymore, like my energy is a little bit better. And I think in this case it was toxic towards towards Cynthia. Cynthia knows that NeNe is a master manipulator, and I'm going to explain it because there's a couple of things that NeNe did, and I was like, NeNe and Cynthia, if they want their relationship to work, they need to go see a therapist together. So NeNe riding around in a Rolls Royce talking to Marlo about, you know, the brunch thing that she wants to do, and she wants to invite the girls or whatever to the brunch thing or whatever. And I'm like, NeNe, girl, I need to have a heart-to-heart with you real quick, NeNe, because sis, I'm paying attention to you and I'm seeing some stuff and I ain't liking it. So if you're a NeNe fan, you might want to click off for a minute, because I'm finna really like kind of dig in a little bit, because this is NeNe's time. NeNe Leakes, I can kind of tell that you a little, I won't necessarily say strapped for cash, but you can tell that you ain't making the big bucks that you used to. We've not seen you that much this season on Real Housewives of Atlanta, which means your check has been cut. Girl, we seen you act out on social media and saying that they're trying to sabotage you or whatever. And Anna's response is just, girl, we only posting what you giving us. NeNe, you really don't have a storyline that we're interested in. When you bring these girls to the brunch, I thought that was complete gutter trash. I was not interested in seeing these folks. I was just not interested in that. Like, you've not talked about it too much besides on your YouTube channel, which you really need to work on. Like, sis, hear me out. I got some stuff I can offer you to help you fix what you got going on your channel, your social media brand, period. But girl, it ain't looking good. Even from you retweeting and posting paid advertisement, you selling wigs and stuff. Girl, you need to clean some of that stuff up. I don't know, you over there talking to Straight from the A. Girl, you need to let her go. Sis ain't been able to, she ain't doing nothing right now. Ain't nobody going to her blog no more to check out anything. She's not giving anything. And she said some transphobic stuff in the past, so you need to really distance yourself from her, because Straight from the A brand is complete, utter garbage. Nobody's inviting her to do anything outside of Atlanta. Like, girl, she know that. She know that while she over there watching. But, NeNe, like, since we got to work on it, girl. You getting on the YouTube, you're doing videos, and you're trying to talk about some stuff, and then it's taking you 5 minutes to get into the video to talk about it. I don't even want to watch you no more. You're doing a live stream about what you got going on, and it's like, it takes you 5 minutes to get into it. It's a recorded video. Start talking about whatever you need to talk about from the beginning. You don't need to wait on people to get in, because people can go back and watch it. Like, just start talking. Ain't nobody got 5 minutes to give you for you to try to clean up your image. Now, I'm gonna pause for a second. I do agree with NeNe saying NeNe should have been on this episode of Watch What Happens Live. I don't think Kenya should have been on there. There was no reason for Kenya to be on Watch What Happens Live. We didn't see her that much. She really didn't have too much to say this episode. I feel like NeNe should have been there, but girl, they didn't ask NeNe. So NeNe, I'm gonna tell you what I think is going on. I think what you did at the reunion last year really just irritated a lot of folks. You didn't want to talk. You was just hi. Now you want to talk, and don't nobody want to listen. And I said this in my reunion review. I said NeNe is turning a lot of people off, and she might be turning some folks off production. It's like, girl, can we just phase her out? Now she almost like begging, and just like it's tiring. Nobody wants to be around you. Nobody wants to be around you. And NeNe, you can't sit up here and put this on Truly Original or Bravo. You need to put this, you can't put this on Cynthia and her other side. You need to take some ownership and some accountability for what you did. Matter of fact, go ahead and jump into this conversation that you had with Cynthia. Their whole move was manipulative as hell. Like, you show up to talk to Cynthia, you talking, Cynthia's letting you know how she feels, you discrediting and saying all these things where, girl, I didn't mean it like that. Take account. Not one time in that sit down did you take accountability for how you made Cynthia feel. You just kept making excuses. What was the purpose of the sit down? If you come in here, you trying to sit down and talk, and then you not even listening. All you doing is listening to respond. That's all you were doing, NeNe. And I'm just like, get her out of here. So Cynthia is just headstrong, and I'm loving it. Cynthia's just like, girl, I don't want to talk about, like, Cynthia is giving me, like, I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to tell you how I feel, and that's what it is. Like, girl, I'm not going to be out here kissing your butt to make you feel good. If NeNe wants to fall out about this petty drama, let us fall out about it, period. So NeNe recognizing that she could not make Cynthia feel bad because, oh yes, I called you my sister. Now I'm calling everybody sister. I've told y'all before, NeNe uses my sisters, she uses that to make a person have a little bit more care for her or something. Like, I ain't close to family or whatever, like, you my sister or whatever. So it's kind of like, you need to handle me with care. But NeNe is not handling Cynthia with care at all. So she does that, and it's very manipulative, and I see straight through it. You keep telling me that's your sister. Ain't no way in the hell my sister over here doing interviews. Even if she was, I would have said, girl, what is the tea, honey? You talking about your sister. You should have called your sister and talked to Cynthia. Cynthia would have hurt you out. Now, NeNe recognized that her talking to Cynthia and Cynthia ain't receiving, and Cynthia ain't, like, because normally when Cynthia and NeNe sit down and talk afterwards, NeNe uses the fact that Cynthia be a little bit empathetic. Cynthia wasn't empathetic this time. So NeNe shut down and she walked out because she knew that Cynthia was going to follow behind her and love on her and just, oh, she breaking down, I can't feel bad. And Cynthia really kind of had to go out there because if she didn't, she would look like the bad person. So that's manipulative behavior that NeNe was doing. I wish Cynthia would have never went outside. NeNe did not own up to none of the bull crap she did. NeNe, you was out here talking trash about that woman. You was out here talking trash. You was out here hitting below the belt. You called Kenya a water buffalo. You said all of these things. She's getting, like, you were being very evil and very nasty doing that. And I just turned off. Honestly, I don't feel like we missing you at all. I don't feel like a lot, like you got a couple of fans that love you or whatever. But the overall, folks, we don't really care if you don't come back. We really don't care at this point because you ain't really offering us. You don't have a storyline, and it's just on period. So let me back. Cynthia goes over Kenya's house, and Cynthia like, girl, I'm over here putting these wigs in my purses. Don't blame you, Cynthia. She sits down and talks to Kenya and holds Kenya accountable for what she has done. So Kenya, girl, you get called out. I love it. Cynthia called you out this episode, and it seems like that Portia gonna call you out real good next week, and I can't wait to see it. So the prayer that Cynthia gave had me screaming. That prayer, she's like, girl, and forgive me for smelling like asphalt because my friend threw me under the bus. She did throw you under the bus. And I am noticing that we only threw halfway through the season, and Kenya has had to apologize to Cynthia how many times? She's had to take in quote-unquote ownership for what she's done and what she's made Cynthia feel a couple of times. So it's just like Cynthia has walked out of one toxic relationship into another toxic relationship. So I'm glad that Cynthia can see what a toxic relationship is, but her relationship with Kenya is just as toxic, if not more. Kenya has thrown you under the bus multiple times. We still ain't recovering from what she did at the engagement thing. Like, we still ain't forgetting that. Like, we forgave that. We ain't moved on, and it's just not looking right. Y'all might have some cute moments every once in a while and stuff, but it just does not seem like Kenya is a genuine friend to you, Cynthia. I think that Kenya is a decent person, but I don't think she is a genuine friend to you, because there was no way, shape, or form I would have threw my friend under the bus like that. I was not feeling that. And Cynthia did that while she was dragging Kenya, rightfully so, with her baby in her hand. You have to love it. I love it so much. Kenya said she was told that Cynthia went back and told Tanya about the cookie lady and stuff. Cynthia was supposed to do that, honestly. Honestly, Cynthia was supposed to do that. I don't blame Cynthia for saying, girl, this is some real petty stuff. This whole situation is extremely petty. And even Kenya trying to break it down and make it seem like that it's not, you know, that Tanya really did something to make her, and she really did shade her first on Watch What Happens Live. Tanya ain't done none of that stuff. Tanya has not shaded you that harsh. She's like, the hair stuff was shady. But Kenya, you threw the first piece of shade, and Tanya is responding to it. So I'm just not understanding how she's trying to make it seem like that Tanya really did something. Tanya don't even be dragging folks. We don't even know one Tanya read that she said that made somebody feel some type of way. Name one read that Tanya ever gave. Exactly, because there are none. So I already talked about Cynthia and NeNe sitting down. Let's move on and talk about this brunch thing that NeNe was supposed to throw, and it ended up being a disaster. Like, I don't understand how you throw a thing and then you show up 2.5 hours later. But I probably understand, because NeNe don't stay exactly in the city, and that place they went to is right next to the Mercedes-Benz stadium. It's actually right next to the place I get my hair done. It's like a little Mexican restaurant. It's really good. I can't think of the name of it, but they have pretty good food, and the margaritas had me on my ass. Being 2.5 hours late was trash. Like, the girls show up, Eva's having contractions. Her baby probably said, girl, I ain't got time for none of this. Get her out of here. Eva's baby didn't even want to be a part of this mess. She said, girl, let me out, honey. Get me out of here. Girl screamed. Candace said, I am not going to help deliver this baby. Let's get you to a hospital. The girls take, what's name, to the hospital, whatever. So you only got, who was there? You got Candy was there, and Tanya was there, and Kenya ends up showing up late. And then when she found out that, you know, NeNe is late, she said, girl, I'm finna leave. She leaves. And I don't blame Kenya for leaving. I don't blame Kenya at all for saying, I'm not gonna wait on NeNe. Like, NeNe is late and I'm late. So if I'm even later than NeNe, that means, no, that's complete disrespect. No, ma'am. Like, NeNe should have been the one laying down the olive branch. Ain't nobody owing anything to you. Even if everybody had came late, it's on you, NeNe, to own there and be like, girl, they came late, and they rightfully so, because, girl, I have, you know, been trashed, so let me clean this up. Then Kenya leaves. NeNe comes with a whole group of women that we have never seen. It was probably like 2 or 3 that we recognized from being on a couple of episodes, but it was just, why are y'all here? How is this a conversation that y'all are having with these folks? NeNe, how are you sitting there telling us you want to have a conversation with these ladies to get this stuff together, and then you bring a whole entourage with you? And I think the reason why you bring this entourage is because you know that these girls probably gonna show up and you need to film. You need to film. You talking about some, oh, this is an empowerment thing. That wasn't even a brunch. It was like at a whole Mexican restaurant. Like, I don't even, then you showed up 2.5 hours late. You showed up at 3 something. Girl, brunch is over with almost at the time. Like, most brunch spots stop serving mimosas at 2 o'clock. I think it's only a couple that serve after 4 or 5, but it's over with. Like, you were late. How do you set up something to stand an olive branch and then you late? Girl, it's not making sense. So NeNe out here being shady to myself. Oh, she thinks she can leave. Talking about Kenya. Kenya had every right to leave. She had every right to leave. Like, girl, how you gonna talk about something? You want to apologize and talk to folks, and then you showing up late, and then you come with a whole entourage. I'm glad nobody showed up. I'm glad nobody showed up. So NeNe talking mess about, you know, Portia, and Portia pulling on up. Portia said she wasn't interested in coming first because she didn't like the invite about the lions, tigers, and bears, which I thought was hilarious. I don't think she was shading Dennis and Portia. I don't think that's what it was. I think she was just talking about the girls lying and whatever on her or whatever. So, girl, it made no sense. NeNe over here clowning Portia. Portia walks up, and now NeNe is on like, she ain't got nothing to say. She ain't got nothing to say. The whole thing, like, Portia looking like, what's going on? Like, it looked terrible. It just looked confusing. I really didn't like it. I didn't like it for you at all, NeNe. It looked very thirsty. I just didn't understand what it was. You was giving me like the Braxton family values when the Braxton said they wasn't coming back on the show because they wanted to raise. So what's her name had to film with some other folks, and that's when Phaedra was on and some other folks that we randomly don't know. It was just trash. It was just complete trash. I don't even know what Portia was talking about. I don't even know if Portia was able to even talk to NeNe. Like, NeNe, how you saying this is like, let's get it together, and then you invite a whole group of women who these folks don't know. It just didn't make any sense. It just didn't. So I don't even know what to say on that. Like, girl, I just what gets me is that NeNe is mad at Portia for being 25 minutes late when NeNe showed up 2.5 hours late. It probably took NeNe an hour to get to where the place was at, because the stuff is like really midtown. Like, it is over there by Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's like not that far from downtown. So yeah, I think it's like downtown. Like, I think that's almost like downtown over there. It's over there by Peter Street, by Candace Restaurant, OLG. And girl, child, I'm gonna talk about that in my King Reeves video. Y'all heard about OLG, child. I'll be talking about that in my King Reeves video tomorrow. But girl, it didn't make any sense. This was not NeNe's best moment. I really didn't like it at all. Next week's episode, like, it's gonna be what I need, because I'm ready for somebody to hold Kenya accountable, and I saw that Portia was the one to do that, which I really, really appreciate, because I did not realize that Kenya had called Tanya the C word. I did not know that until I watched the clip that Bravo put up of the Housewives, like behind the scenes, whatever this was, and the reacting to the episode or whatever. That was trash for you, Kenya. That was completely trash. Then she tried to apologize for it on Watch What Happens Live. Then she couldn't even explain what her beef with Tanya was or whatever. Kenya, it is clear that your relationship is in shambles, or whatever you trying to make it seem, so you can get another check, another whatever, some more time on the show. But it's just like, girl, you just look like you either thirsty for camera time, or you are going through trials and tribulations in your marriage, and you want to attack everybody else's stuff, because you're just like, girl, I don't know. I think you're doing that subconsciously. I don't think you're necessarily trying to, but I don't think you realize, like, you question everybody else's relationship because you're questioning your own marriage. And that's just the black bottom line. But girl, I'm here for next week's episode. That's the only thing I got to say, y'all. Let me know how y'all feel about all this stuff, girl. How y'all feel about this NeNe and Cynthia situation? Do y'all believe that's a toxic relationship? And do you believe that Cynthia's hopped in another toxic relationship with Kenya? Let me know in the comments, and I'll talk to you later on tonight. Bye.